So today I've been working on the business plan. It has to be done by the end of the week, basically. It's just going to give you an idea. The three sort of like lanes that we plan to do business in, it's events, wholesale, and catering. So events, wholesale, and catering. Contracts as well, but in my mind, contracts basically kind of it kind of could fall under catering, or it could fall under events. It just kind of depends on what kind of gig it is. But if it's like a hospital or something like that, it would kind of fall under catering. But those would be our three categories. So events, wholesale, B2B, and then catering. So right off the bat, I would do like red is for events, blue is for catering, and then green is for wholesale or something like that. Right off the bat, just to have just to have folders that are all, because you have to look at it like this. The accounts that you have coming through for like let's say, I'm trying to condense all this so that it makes sense. The information that you'll need to store and gather and keep together for events is going to be different than these other categories. Here's a perfect example. With events, it's all about, and I come from the world of event planning, it's really all about logistics. So do you have everything you need for a setup? What do your supplies look like? What about your transportation? What about your gas? The week of the event, the month of the event, what kind of prep are you doing? How much inventory do you need to have? Do we need to have more staff, less staff? Do we need to have an extra person giving out samples? Do we have business cards, marketing? Do we have someone to take pictures? All of the logistics, who is our event contact, just in case we need to reach out to someone? Do we have all our insurance and our paperwork? So if somebody pops up on us at an event and they ask to see our food permit, we have what we need. So everything that we would need in regards to events, now all being in red folders or being in red, lets us know immediately, okay, if we've got to go into a drawer, if we've got to go somewhere, here is what you're looking for. Going into a category like catering or events, let's say this is the blue folder, is a little bit different, because the catering and events, you typically are going to have some form of like a contract. You're going to have some kind of event order form, some kind of guarantee. You may, and you don't really want to like store or keep customer credit card information, but you may need to have it secure for a certain period of time. So a perfect example, if you're booking an event that's kind of large, and maybe it's you need to hold their credit card until the end, or you're going to charge it the day of the event, you may have to have that information. And many times, in order to be able to charge their card later on, you may have to have a contract, or what we would call like an event order form that has a signature, their credit card information, whatever it is. And again, be extremely careful. I'm not a lawyer or anything like that, but be very, very careful with anything pertaining to customer information. So their credit cards, anything like that, you have to be extremely careful about. I would recommend, if you don't have the money to make sure that like your site or your, whatever you're doing electronically has it secure, using some kind of third party. So perhaps whoever you have your accounting through, QuickBooks, maybe your merchant services. So like your Square, your PayPal, things like that. make sure you have that stuff in place, because you do not want to have customer credit cards laying around. If this is a home-based business, you want to make sure that secure documents are locked at all times, and you just want to keep these things in mind, specifically if this is going to be a home office. Once I have our home office area laid out and organized for maximum workflow, which is really what we're trying to get at. Once we have that organized, I will take a picture so that you guys can kind of see how we have it set up, how we have our calendar set up, how my desk is set up, just so you can see some of the organization that goes into. And again, your setup doesn't have to be exactly like mine. Your setup might just be a small little desk in a corner. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you have a desk, you have your computer or whatever you do your work on, and you have some kind of filing system and a calendar so you can just keep things updated and keep things together. Going to the third example, doing B2B and doing a wholesale situation, you're dealing with other businesses. So again, you might have long-term contracts on file. You may have now you definitely will have their credit card information on file, because maybe they need to be billed a certain time of the month, or maybe it's cash on delivery. I don't know. It just depends on how you have it set up. But that organization is still very, very important. The other thing is, and I kind of learned this, again, coming from the world of event planning and also my experience in operations, retail operations, project management. You want to put systems in place that are so simple. It's easy to train people, and it's easy for people to find what they need. And if you need help, it's easy to get help. Because one thing that happens just all the time, you're so used to doing it yourself. You're so used to saying, well, I know what it is. I know where it is. And you get so wrapped up in that you don't stop to think, what if I need help? What if I am literally stuck at an event and I need to send someone home to grab an important paperwork, piece of paperwork? Just think about that. Sometimes when I would be doing events and I would have an event manager or an event captain, and maybe I would leave or I would have to run and get something, and they go, well, I can't find this, I can't find that. And I would literally know exactly where to send them. I'd be like, go in my office. It's the third drawer down from the left. It's in the back. It will be a blue file, and it's alphabetical order. Just look for their name. Like, that's how. And then there was protocol for every new customer, every new client, every new contact. There was a file for everyone. So just keep that in mind. And I know for some of the people out here, they might be like, well, if I just want to do like a quick business, I just kind of want to do all that, then that's fine. There are a lot of resources out here for you. What I want to show people is a lot of the basics, because they can turn around, and you can use this for any business. Any home-based business should really have a very organized office system. And it doesn't matter about the size. It doesn't matter about the fancy equipment. You need a computer, you need a printer, you need a desk, you need a filing cabinet, you need basic office supplies from Staples, Dollar Tree, Walmart, your corner store, wherever you can find it, your stapler, your sticky pad, your stuff. And the filing cabinet is very, very important. If you can get one that has a lock. People don't go into this much detail because they are so used to, it's a home-based business now. But what happens when you're at your house and you're having a party and your house is full of people? Now, like many people, they would say, well, if you can't trust people in their house, that they shouldn't be there. I understand that too. But what about just the safety? If you start putting some of these measures in place now, later on, as you're building a different business or as you're trying a different business, you will still have some of these practices in order. Having your recipes or whatever it is, those things should be somewhere safe, somewhere stored away. Even if they're not locked away per se, they should be somewhere stored away. Since we're on the topic, and I have to kind of jump out of here, but since we're on the topic of having help, maybe you have seasonal help, maybe you have an assistant helping you because the paperwork is getting out of control or business is just really, really rapidly picking up for you, which happens. You might get a lot of interest out of nowhere. You just never know where things in this business world can take you. So maybe overnight you're like, wow, I need a PA. I need a personal assistant, or I need a VA. I need a virtual assistant. I need somebody to help me. If you already have systems in place, it'll make life so much simpler. The other thing is, as you're bringing people on board, be it family, be it whoever, signed NDAs. You want signed NDAs. You do not want people coming into your business, seeing all the ins and outs, listening to your meetings, listening to your phone calls, looking in your books, looking at everything, and then taking your information and using it elsewhere. So those NDAs are really, really important. And I've never come across anyone who had a problem or took issue with having to sign an NDA. Most jobs will have you sign something that basically says they don't want you telling people about their secret sauce. There's nothing out of the ordinary about it. If you are going to have help, have those NDAs on hand. For me, I would carry around my planner that just had all of my information in it. And I would have, this was just a part of my all the time kit. I would have my NDAs in there. So just in case I'm talking business, or I have to talk business with someone, or business needs to be conducted. And then I would also have photo and video release forms. Those are so, so, so important. If you are somewhere and you want to take pictures of people and use those pictures and use those videos for your website, you really want to make sure that you have those people, that person's permission. You don't want to be taking pictures of people's children and videos and then just using them however you want. You want to make sure that you have some kind of form, some type of agreement that says it's okay for you to take the pictures and to use them how you see fit. That's all that I have for you guys today. I will talk to you again tomorrow. We're getting closer and closer to this deadline. So I'm just kind of racking my brains, putting everything in order. But I will talk to you guys soon.